What's going on? This is Pedram and I'm coming to you from Path to Purity. Today in this video, I want to talk about the number one reason why it's so hard to give up porn addiction. And that number one thing is simply being in denial. That's right. Addiction is very cunning, baffling, and powerful. And overcoming it can be challenging. One of the reasons, the most important reason probably why it's so hard to give up porn addiction is because we are being in denial. We do not want to accept that there is something wrong with this addiction. And when we do accept that, we simply forget what this addiction has done to us. We simply think there is no harm in a bit of pleasure, there is no harm in the bit of watching pornography, there is nothing wrong with it, other people are watching it, what's wrong with just a little bit of pornography? I'm sure it doesn't harm no one, I'm sure it doesn't harm me, why not engage in it? After all, it's not gonna kill me, right? And this is simply the number one reason why most people cannot overcome addiction is because it's very difficult addiction to give up, and it's because of in denial. So we as human being, unfortunately or fortunately, we have amnesia. And we forget sometimes that we have a problem, or we forget how this is destroying our life. We forget how this is killing us spiritually, how this is causing unmanageability in our life. So, to overcome this issue, you got to remind yourself that you got to know and be aware of you being in denial. And you got to accept that you forget this is a problem, or you might overcome it for a while, and then something happens, you might end up going back to it, especially in hard time and stress times. So what we got to do is we got to remind ourselves that we are powerless to this, and we got to remind ourselves about how we are being in denial, and we have to remove us from wanting to practice that. So the way to overcome being in denial is to simply not let porn be an option for you releasing stress. You got to find alternative ways to release that stress. That alternative way might be phoning a friend, going for a walk, joining a support community, meditation, prayer, exercise. There are plenty of good, healthy replacement you can replace this bad habit with. But the point of this video is to simply acknowledge that you are you're being in denial. You are thinking there is no harm to it, or you do not want to give up this addiction. So simply you say to yourself, you know what, there's nothing wrong with it. And sometimes when it's so hard to give up this addiction, we tell ourselves there's nothing wrong with it. I'm sure it's going to be fine. But in reality, it's killing you spiritually and is putting you back deeper and deeper in the hole. And is isolating you, is disconnecting you from reality. You are feeding into sex trafficking, which all of that reason I'm mentioning still not going to help you to stay sober, because simply in the time of trial and in hard times, we simply use pornography to try to numb the pain or get closer to pleasure. So simply being aware of you being in denial and reminding yourself and removing pornography out of the picture no matter what happens. And then you can join support communities where you can bring the inside out, and you can remind yourself how powerless you are on a daily basis, because we have amnesia and because we forget after a few days of being off it, and we think we are normal, nothing is wrong with us, we can go back to this one, and I'm sure it's not gonna kill someone. Well, When in reality, over the years, the reason you're watching is because you know simply that something is wrong with this and you shouldn't be doing this. So joining a support community and reminding yourself and removing pornography out of the picture. So no matter what happens, no matter how stressed you are, no matter how bad you feel, once you know that this is not an option for you, you are not going to take that option. And then joining support communities um, to bringing the inside out and to be reminded of what this addiction is doing to you. What I'm trying to say is you got to do daily work. Every single day, you got to do work, whether that is going to the gym and exercising, whether it is meditating, whether it's phoning a friend, whether it's prayer. And our sobriety depends in our daily spiritual condition. So if one day we feel spiritually low, there's a higher chance of us going and acting out and using our drug. But when we are feeling spiritually uplifted, when we feel grounded, when we feel connected, where we feel peace, calmness, all of that, when we are feeling all of that, is less likely we are going to our drug. So number one reason that is so hard to overcome porn addiction is simply being in denial, not acknowledging the harm it causes you and the people around you to watch this stuff. And once you acknowledge that, and once you acknowledge that you're being in denial, you can remove the option of pornography out of the picture. And doesn't matter how bad you feel, you're not going to do it. And of course, this is not the only thing you have to do. That's why I'm going to leave the link below where you can join our support community where we can help you, and we will have regular meetings, we will have prayers, we will have other people you can connect to, and you'll be able to overcome this addiction. I'll leave the link somewhere in the description where you can join. And remember, the next time you're going to practice, most likely you're being in denial about it. Thanks again for watching this video. Until another video, leave a comment, subscribe, and I'll see you soon. Take care.